running that light. You know how it is around here. Red lights and stop signs are suggestions. So everybody says these are slow.
No.
They're crazy, dude. They just don't know that.
No, they boogie.
They're buggy. And even being an automatic, it's still pretty quick.
It handles very well too.
Oh yeah,
I think it's known for handling as well, right?
TN's coils on it, and it have a Hotchkiss rear sway bar. It had a front sway bar. Before I put these seats in, it was too nasty. Like you go like this and you were flying all over the place. So I took the front sway because it was too aggressive for the street.
It was too aggressive. Okay.
But
welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Carlos. Carlos, thank you so much for making the time for us, man.
hey, thank you guys for coming out and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it.
Nah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for reaching out and just making this happen. It also helps that we're local, and that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's also cool to see the fact that there's the city in itself is not big, but there's so many enthusiasts around here, and that's super cool. But what do you drive today, man?
This is a 2001 IS300, which pretty much everybody knows by now. They're pretty popular cars, but
they are popular. But you know what? At least they are popular. But I don't know if a lot of people here in the States, at least, mess with them as much. And we'll get into some of the reasons, but you can correct us if we're wrong. But yeah, I hear that a little difficult to work at times. But we'll get to that. First, before we start talking about this build, tell us a little about yourself, Carlos. When did you remember thinking cars are my hobby? This is what I like to pursue.
I've pretty much been a car guy from birth, life. My father and uncles and stuff were all into cars, so it was just a natural progression for me to start from cleaning wheels and parts and watching them do tune-ups and all that other stuff. And I was just like a little sponge, so I just soaked it all up, and I'm pretty much a lifelong car guy.
Oh, that's cool. We like you guys around here. Did they have mechanic shops, or they just mess with cars? And
oh no, yeah, it was backyard stuff.
Backyard stuff,
in the garage if we were lucky enough to have somebody that had a garage. But it was
here doing transmission swaps in the street.
Yeah, you got the cars on cinder blocks. They don't even have jack stands. You know what I mean?
Cars just for a week.
You're just like, it's stable. Go ahead, get under. And they send me under. Hey, check if it's good. You go under the car, Carlos.
Gosh, dude.
We'll pull your legs out if it falls.
Oh, sure, we're not approved. Is that what you're saying?
Totally not approved.
And what cars were they working on? Was it imports, hot rods?
In the beginning, it was like my father, he was a hot rod muscle car, kind of guy.
Okay.
60s, 70s muscle cars. And then my uncles, they were younger, so they were into Japanese cars because they were cheap and affordable at the time. So they went to RX-7s, RX-3s, Toyota Corollas, So then I saw that side of it and was like, oh, okay, and just appreciated everything pretty much from a young age. So
yeah, that's cool. Now, what was the first car that you wanted, and then what was the first car that you actually got?
Oh, okay. First car I ever really wanted was a M3 BMW, the E36. Everybody.
Wow.
That was
okay.
Because I grew up in the '80s era where they were putting the big wheels on them and BBS and now music. So it was just like
Let me guess, the purple. The violet?
I don't care what color. I didn't care. I didn't care. Actually, black probably would have been at that time because I didn't know any better that black is the worst color to get. So, and then my actual first car that I licensed and the car, it was a FB RX-7. I think it was an '83, and I bought it from my uncle. He had one, and his interior was messed up, so he bought the car that I ended up with because it was crashed on this whole side. The whole passenger side was crashed. So I helped him do the interior swap, and I was like, "Well, what do you want to do with the shell and stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sell it or whatever." And I was like, "Well, let me get the old parts, and then I'll give you some money." So I gave him like $300 for the car, and he helped me take out all the dents and stuff, and had like a gold door, black fender, Bondo everywhere. But that was my first car, and I drove that thing for like 3 or 4 years. It was definitely,
an experience.
Oh yeah, driving a rear-wheel drive car in the wintertime with no weight on the back end, it was.
That's right. Because at this time you're not in Southern California.
I was in Pennsylvania, yeah. So it was.
That's why they get 4-wheel drive over there, all-wheel drive.
Yeah, all-wheel drive, and that was like, you know, I was putting like spare tires in the back hatch area and doing different things because, I mean, you just feathered the gas and that thing was going this way or this way, which is cool now. It was drifting, but you know, it wasn't. It was scary.
It was scary, yeah.
Yeah. So
it was.
Yeah, it was like a year and some months old or whatever, you know. So it was a 01, but I got it in like the middle of 02.
It's a great looking car. Ever since I first saw it, I legitimately like. You know how sometimes you don't like cars that are just stock, and then when somebody modifies them, then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I like these cars from day one, and they have so much aftermarket support.
Yeah, but it's dwindling. Not a lot of companies are still making a lot of parts for this, and it's getting super expensive.
Is it? Now, when you were looking for this car, were you aware of all like the Japanese madness that's out there? You know, like they do it for drifting, they do it for all these different types of stuff. You were aware of that? Oh yeah, I was always a Beamer guy from way back, and so this was to me I was like, oh, it's Japanese 3 Series, I gotta get it. You know it is, yeah.
It's like a 3 Series that I can drive. That's gonna, you know,
no cooling issues.
No cooling, and I've owned a couple BMWs too, so it's not.
So you can attest to that, yeah.
So I'm not a hater. I've owned a few BMWs, and I was buying another one. Like I'm not afraid of a BMW chassis. Some people are like, oh, I'll buy it with 100,000 miles on it. I don't care.
Right. Well, you're handy, so you're able to get your hands in there, so that's good.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so that's what. And I saw this. Actually, I was living in Miami, and I saw one drive past me, and I was like, wow, what is that? He had it on rims and lower. And I was like, I got to get one of those. And then like 3 years later, I ended up getting, or 2.5 years later, I ended up getting
cool.
one. So
yeah.
So and then I screwed myself up. I could have got the unicorn because I was looking around for these for a while. Okay. And I went to Westminster Lexus, and they had a.
Wait, so you're in Miami at the time? Then you moved to the West Coast.
Then I moved,
and you still have that bug for that car. So okay, so you know that's how you know like you really want that car. Gotcha.
Yeah, I grew up on it.
So then when you end up like what was the unicorn? What is that?
Oh yeah, so I went to Westminster and I was looking at used ones and stuff, and they had a slick top cloth interior, the no sunroof and cloth interior, and I was like, I felt insulted. I was like, dude, I'm trying to buy a Lexus. I want fully loaded leather, sunroof, you know. And he was like, well, this one is cheaper, obviously, because it was the base model.
Okay.
Well, they only brought like 200 or 300 of those to the country, so I could have got like that's the one to get. You know what I mean? The slick top cloth interior. That's the rarest one, and it was right there in my hands. And I like I said, as a youngster, because I was like 26 when I got this car.
Youngster, you're old. 26. A youngster, I was 42.
But no, I'm 50 now, so you know.
You look great. You look like you're like 49.
Thank you. 49 and a half.
49 and a half, yeah. And some change. I gotcha. Oh man. So as we stumble upon the Lexus, tell me a little bit how do you actually ended up stumbling upon this car? Because I mean, throughout now it's what 20 plus, 30 plus years in the car game.
Oh yeah.
Why this car?
It filled a lot of boxes for me. I needed a sedan because I had a family, so I needed 4 doors. I wanted something rear-wheel drive and look cool. So this basically filled, you know, all the boxes for me.
Almost all the boxes.
Almost all the boxes. Almost all the boxes.
Get out.
You know, it was slow and all that other good stuff, but yeah, it just was a good fit, you know. And I've always been a Lexus fan and you know Toyota fan and all that stuff too. So
did you have any Lexus before this?
No, Toyotas, but not Lexus. This was like this is the first.
This is a fancy, yeah.
Oh no, trust me, I felt cool when I bought it. So
you had time for no reason. I like that. Yeah,
oh, and it went immediately. It was 2 weeks, and it was on wheels and lowered. Like it didn't take long. So because what happened is I had a 96 EX sedan, slammed. You know, 2001 Fast and Furious style, you know, had all the extra loom and everything.
This is a huge upgrade then, compared to that.
Yeah, it got totaled at the Y right there at El Toro on the 5, you know, where the 405 and thing come to meet. I'm sitting in the fast lane parked, you know how the traffic stops. Some guy didn't stop, and I was the last one in line, and
that sucks.
Yeah, he hit me going like 80, so the car pretty much exploded into a million pieces, and the back seat was it up here, like in the passenger front seat. It was.
You're okay, Carlos.
Oh no! If anybody else was in the car, they wouldn't have made it. It was pretty bad. So,
Oof.
So I took the funds, and I cried. I had my moment because I had put a year into that car and had it like. I mean, I polished the engine, everything, valve covers. It was DC headers, everything on that you could do for the time. Projector lights, like it was done up.
It was good, yeah.
And it got taken like that. So I took the money and I started looking for IS. I either was going to get an IS or an Audi. Was it the A4? I was kind of looking at those two because, like I said, it kind of fit the bill of what I was looking for. I needed a sedan, and I like smaller cars. I'm not into the big body cars because it's.
You've been through your big body cars. I mean,
the muscle car era and all that stuff. So
for this, you wanted something smaller
and practical. And I didn't know though when I first bought it that it was so gas thirsty. I didn't do all my research. So I went from a Honda that was sipping gas to this thing, and I was like, and it runs premium. So I was like, I think I screwed up, man. I was like, I messed up, man. This thing's expensive.
That's cool.
Yeah. So around the 2010 or 11. That's when it got resprayed, completely blown apart except for the motor. This is BMW Melbourne red. I don't know if I said that Melbourne or Melbourne. I'm not Australian. I don't know, but it's a BMW color.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it does have a couple little beamer tricks. Like this is the tow hook from a E series.
Interesting.
That they had molded in. And it's actual working tow hook behind there.
I don't know, man. Sounds like you really want that BMW.
No, I have BMWs. They're in the family.
Okay, gotcha.
And then this is a Vertec front bumper. So,
very pretty.
And the rest, I'm not in. I wanted a stock body, so that's the only really, like, cosmetic change to the front. Altezza grill, obviously.
The grill, though, I think makes the car so different. I mean, obviously. They don't come like this. I think that the grill with the front bumper.
Yeah, the 3-bar.
Yeah, you did a great job. It makes the car look different. So.
And then having the bra, that was actually the very first part I bought for the car when I first bought it from the dealer. It's a 2-piece bra. Obviously, it doesn't fit on this bumper because, but there's a couple chips under there too. So that's why I kind of run it because I do, believe it or not, I do drive the car as much as I can, but I'm trying to, preserve it.
So you've had these bras as long as you had the car. I mean,
pretty much. That was legit like day 2 when I got the car.
So you legit take care of your stuff because those bras fade. They wear out.
Oh yeah, I was raised by boomers, so we, my dad.
Straight on nails.
Yeah, my dad. They didn't label him, OCD or whatever, but I think he might have had a little touch of the OCD, and it kind of rubbed off on me.
It's good. Yeah. Take care of your stuff. Gotcha. And then obviously everything else is pretty much OEM.
OEM, yeah, that's the Japanese, the JDM TRD spoiler. I do have the USDM TRD spoiler painted as well.
So then not OEM. Wow, the Japanese pieces there.
Well, the whole trunk is a Japanese trunk, as an Altezza trunk. We switched everything over, and yeah, and so I kept the rest stock body because I did run TRD spoilers when it was side skirts when it was gray, but being so low, they kept getting chunks out of this part. Started, they get damaged so fast that it kind of, I was like, no side skirts this time, just front.
Man, Carlos, you're getting old.
Well, yeah, I'm getting wiser. I was like, I want to keep fixing side skirts and things like that. So.
That's a smart way to do it, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a fishbowl now. Like I've had it tinted when I was alien and stuff like that. And
I love the way you have it, man. It's perfect. Suspension pieces, what have you changed?
Up front, it's TN coilover, TN Flex, the 16-way adjustable now. They've been on here since like 2011 or something like that.
Still working. So, I mean, the car felt really smooth. So.
Well, everybody, if you don't have VCs, you're not cool now. And I was like, they didn't even make VCs when I put these on here. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't a thing.
Show some respect.
Yeah, show some respect. That's JDM, old school. I have Hotchkiss sway bars in the back. I did have it up front, but it was a little too much. Then the rest is just bushings and stuff like that, just general maintenance stuff, So it's a pretty simple build. It's not a.
But we like.
I did a lot in a little. I guess if you can.
Less is more, they say. Less is more, man.
Gotcha.
So you also swapped the back end. That's awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's. This is a US spec bumper. I did have the JDM bumper, But what happened is since it's in more, the exhaust stuck out too much, and I was like, I don't want to cut the exhaust. It's a Grady exhaust. I got that one 03, so that exhaust been on there since like 03, 04.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, sorry, these cup holders suck.
Thank you. Come on, Lexus, step up again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is the tiniest cup holders in the world. Thank you, sir.
This guy.
So,
do I need to hold your hash browns too?
No.
Okay.
So he had it for like maybe like 2 or 3 years over there, and that's when all the.
Thank you for the coffee, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. And that's when he was thinking of doing it track style. He was like, oh, but then once we painted it, I was like, dude, it's too nice to put this thing on the track. It's gonna get destroyed, you know. So, so he was talking one day. He's like, yo, my mom, his whole garage is full of project cars and all this other stuff. So she's like,
I know a few people like that.
So she's like, something gotta go. And he was like, huh? And she's like, something gotta go. So he called me up. And he's like, yo, Uncle, what's up? I gotta get rid of the car. So I was like, oh, just tell me how much you want.
So he did purchase the car then?
He purchased it, yeah.
Gotcha,
So I'm the second and fourth owner, but he never drove it. That was the craziest thing. He did all this stuff and he never drove it. So.
Got it. Okay, so he did leave your. Okay, so you did sell the car. It was a family, obviously.
Yeah, it was family. So.
And then after that, how long did he have it for?
I want to say 2.5 years, maybe. 2 years, somewhere in there.
Free storage.
Yeah, free. Well, and it was a free hookup, because imagine, I was like, you know, because we were talking through the whole process, you know, but my wife wouldn't let me do 2 project cars at the same time, so it was almost like down low getting a free hookup at the same time, you know what I mean? So it was nefarious behind it, you know what I mean?
It was, yeah.
Because that's why I gave it to him so cheap. Because I was like, oh, he's not gonna get rid of it. And then once I get my stuff right, I'll get it back. You know what I mean? Like, so. And then once I know, if you see his work, as you can see, the paint and the fit and finish, everything, it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, yeah. So I threw him a couple bucks back, and got the car, and he was happy because he stayed in the family and stuff like that. So.
Tire setup. What do you got going on?
Oh, those are Funk C's, the 5 Ziggins. There's a stagger. They're 18 by 8 in the front. I think 8.5 in the back. It's not a big stagger, but it's they're JDM old school wheels, you know.
Yeah, we did.
I had them before Ming put them on his. I just want to let you know.
Man, yeah. Come on, man. Let him know. Let him know.
And then the brakes are actually, those are Genesis coupe brakes.
Front and back?
Front and back.
Gee, okay.
And then the rotors are from ISF, the first generation ISF. Wow. You know, the V8 Lexus with the double stack exhaust. That's where the rotors came from. Now, I wanted to do 2-piece, but my wife said no. There was too much money.
Yeah. For a car that just sits.
Now, yeah, pretty much. But check this out. This is the only thing I would recommend people be careful. Is I have these scratches here. I was on the 405 and a rock got stuck in between there. What? Oh yeah, I was driving and it started pulling the steering wheel. I was like, what the hell? So I pulled over and it was like glowing red stuck on the top of the caliper.
So let me just paint the caliper red then.
No, it just, but so I don't know how many mils that is, but that's like credit card.
Like nothing.
Yeah, so that was the only, and then getting the proper offset, because it took a while to find wheels that were gonna work. It wasn't like we just picked these right away and they worked. We went through probably like 3 or 4 sets because I didn't want to run spacers. So
that's fun.
Yeah, it was
being
fun.
Sarcastic right now.
Oh, no, I'm not against spacers, but I just didn't want to run spacers on this one.
Yeah, I get you. I'm just saying that once you go BBK, your wheel selection,
you're screwed, yeah.
Your wheel selection is like you have to really think about it. And you did the front and back. Now, what did you have? Is there adapter kits or did you?
The front was easier. That was They have the Supra, the LS400 brake upgrade from the big LS400 sedans. They sell little adapters that moves the screw holes over and stuff like that. So that was the front was easier. The back was custom. We had to.
That's a big.
It was a lot harder, and I want to do. We just couldn't do it at the time. I was gonna do the hydro brake on it too, but we'll have to weld the bracket onto the arm, and that's the only way to make it work because there's no room. So in the future, and it's like flex mode right now. Anything I'm gonna do, it's just gonna be a flex,
caliper,
just to. Yeah, I figure a white from like a 350Z, the Brembo figure right there.
Oh, cool.
It'll look good. It'll look good.
Jesus.
But like I said, I need a real welder, somebody that's gonna be able to weld, make the bracket and then weld it onto the arm, because there's no room.
Yeah, man. Well, the car looks amazing, man.
And we did the simple stuff, like it's all the fenders are rolled and tucked.
They better
everything.
be.
Well, most guys they're just
Plus, especially after you resprayed it, like.
Yeah, and we resprayed it. We went full. I mean, the doors came off. Everything was done at a super high level. It wasn't
It wasn't like your old Civic build?
Nah. I love Civics. I really do. I would take one in a minute, but
leave the door open as we kind of like let's see what we got.
Okay.
You're about to say you're getting another 90 Civic? I'm sure your wife wouldn't approve of that shit. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, it's better to ask for forgiveness sometimes.
And that's the reason you're always in the doghouse. All right, Carlos.
I get in a lot of trouble, yes. I'm not gonna lie.
Now that I'm trying to get you to more trouble, but let's talk about the interior. What do you got going on?
Like I said, again, it's pretty basic. I put some sparkle seats, as you can see. I did all Nardi stuff. Try to keep it high end. Like I said, I'm 50 years old, so I can't have like a kid, shift knob with a cartoon character on it or
What's
something
wrong with
like
that.
Well, no,
that's
that's the jam for the younger kids, but like I wanted to do a more mature build. So
you totally throw me off as someone that would have a whole bunch of anime in your interior.
No. So I put the Works Belt hub. These are the actual shifter hubs pattern. That took like a year to come from Japan.
Carbon fiber.
And then it looks like it's not a stick, but I just got tired of looking at that base plate, so I just covered. It's like, man, I've had this car long enough. I suffered looking at those stupid numbers and the letters, so I covered it. And I get some people love it, some people hate it. It's kind of like,
I like it. It looks clean. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're trying to fake, and I was like, no. Every post and every time I talk about it, it's automatic. It's not. I'm not trying to pretend like it's a stick shift car.
Gotcha. And then the dash, that's one of my most favorite. It's almost like a clock.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite dashes of all time.
And luckily it was a 01, so I never had to deal with sticky dash or any of those issues.
Gotcha.
And then the sun visor, that's from an 03, and the armrest is from an 03.
So it's just a mixed match of everything.
Yeah, and it's
they always forgot something or what?
Well, the old armrest is good for tall people because it's based down, but I'm on the shorter side, so I needed it a little higher, and then this just had an ugly cubby hole there, and I was just like,
oh, they know how to like make you guys buy the next model up.
Well, yeah, they actually had about 5 trims for these cars when they were new, just different interior packages, the full leather, this was Iscane, I think they called the inside, Iscane leather. And the only reason I changed the front seats was 2 reasons, just for the hug of the
bucket,
and the driver's seat was, for 20 years it was starting to show its
age.
And the steering wheel too. The steering wheel was rotten. The leather was ripping off just from the sweat of your hands.
It's super understandable. These are all your OEM seats?
OEM seats. OEM door everything's OEM.
They haven't been reupholstered.
No. I redyed the Iscane with just fabric dye, but that's original.
Wow, you really do take care of your stuff.
Yeah, I like to keep them forever.
Crazy.
And then the harness in the back, that came along because my son, when I put the harness bar in, he wasn't tall enough to sit in the front yet. He was still short. And he has an autism spectrum, so he likes to rock. And I was worried that he was gonna smash his face again if I hit the brakes and he's not secure in. So I put so I can strap him in.
Homie can't rock anymore.
And he can't rock anymore. And I didn't have to worry about him hitting his mouth on the, because it's basically a coupe now. I mean, it's a sedan, but it's not. It's not anymore. It's not. And I wanted obviously everybody wants Recaros and stuff, but I went with these because it kept full adjustability. Like these ones.
Okay.
Has the sparkle sliders, and you can
reclinable.
It's a twist style, on the tie, so you just crank it. Because I looked at the fixed seats and I was like, I don't always sit in the same position when I drive. I don't know if some days I want to lean, some days I want to.
Some days I want to lean. It depends on the music.
It depends on the music and the mood
that you're driving in.
So having that was important. So These came up, actually these came out of a DC2 Integra. The guy had them in a DC2 Integra, and he had them, those are from 97. Those seats are older than the car. And you think I'm keep my car clean, this guy's car never even gets dust on it. It's so nice.
Immaculate, that's cool.
And so he gave me a good deal on him. I was like, I'll take him.
Well, you need that bucket seat for that K-series swap that you did, which is really odd.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Hold on. The K, yeah. If you don't mind showing the power.
Yeah, I'll pop the hood for you.
It's cool.
You don't drive it? Well, it's your guys' fault, or not your guys, the next generation. This is a swing car, so the cops see it and they're, right away. I'm like, look at this thing. I would never swing this in a million years.
Then they'll pull you over and they see that you're an adult, and it's like, oh, okay.
Nah, it's not.
You're driving your son's car, no? Is that what they're telling you?
They just give me a hard time. Like, oh, what are you? I'm like, look at my tires. If I was swinging the car, it'd be, rubber all over the car and all this stuff.
Is she getting a hard time? Really? Oh my God.
Oh, you look where I live, I got the welcome wagon when I first moved. I've been here like 10 years, and Jesus Christ, I got the welcome wagon from hell when I moved here.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about that after. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I want to hear that. That's cool.
Well, it didn't help that I was driving a Dunk El Camino at the time, so they were like, "What are
this
you doing
community
over
does
here?"
not. Yeah, I don't.
That's another funny story too. But yeah, I was driving here with the Dunk El Camino with nothing but bass too. It was
nothing but bass. Because you didn't need anything else.
It had 215s in the back, and it boom, and all these guys were.
I'll be honest with you, man. I probably would call the cops on you too. And I like that stuff.
Yeah. It was a key swap actually with a friend of mine. I had a Tahoe. I usually keep a truck, and he had kids and stuff, and he was like, man, there's not enough room in the El Camino no more. And,
shocker.
Yeah, I was like, duh, and I had the truck, and I was like, you know what? I'll toss keys with you. It's cool. My wife was pissed. She was like, you got that old junky car, you got rid of the Tahoe. But they were worth about the same. They were worth about the same price. So
yeah, but they can't do the same.
So,
Gotcha.
So I was in that doghouse for a little while. And then that one came a problem because it was the V6. So it needed a new engine, obviously.
So what, V6 are not as bulletproof or what?
Well, no, it's hard to get replacements, and it's like, do you want to spend money to put a 112 horsepower motor in a car? You know what I mean? So
gotcha.
If we didn't live in California and I could have thrown like a small block 350 in it or something like that, I probably would have kept the car just to, but yeah. And the rest of the world, they don't realize how terrible it is to be a car guy in California. It's really hard. So, so that's why I was like, all right. Some kid offered me some money. I was like, take it. Just go.
Genesis, caliper. So man, the power that you've been pushing, it's.
Oh yeah, this is. You got to hold on to your hat when you drive this thing.
I did the whole time. Yeah.
It's pretty stock. I mean, I just went crazy with, make it look nice. They're all just
so clean. Now, before we started, I told you that a lot of people stayed away from these cars. We've interviewed a few of them. Our buddy Eric, who is a huge, this model nerd. I mean, he absolutely
the white
loves
one,
it.
the kid with the white one.
Yes,
oh yeah,
sir.
no, I met him at Grady meet at Christmas.
Super nerd when it comes to this. I love talking to him about it. He's like, once you start working on the car, it's not that bad. But to me, when I see this, it can be intimidating. So maybe that's the reason some people kind of stepped away from it. The actual ones that want to modify it.
Well, if you want to leave them alone, they're great. I mean, if you just want to do the bolt-on stuff, they're amazing. But yeah, if you want to get power out of them, then you have to start spending money and changing internals and do all that stuff. And not that I'm against that, but living here in California is, it's not the jam. The cops don't like, power. So
cops don't like power.
So I just wanted to at least make it look nice when I, go to meets or shows or something like that. I just wanted to represent well. So this was the easiest way to go.
So tell us, what are some of the stuff you've done? Obviously, the engine bay is a little different color. So
well, yeah, because it was silver metallic. So we didn't pull the engine out when we painted the car. We pulled the hood and the fenders and everything out, but the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. And it still looked nice enough where I was like, oh, we can polish it up and it looks good. But yeah, this is I have an AM carb sticker on it, but that's an SRT intake, SRT black. They went out of business a long time ago. Most of this stuff, they're out of business. Jig Magic, that's a JDM company. They don't exist anymore. This is just a heat shield because the factory headers are so ugly. I just wanted to cover them, and that's Prolec Performance. They went out of business a long time ago too.
What? That sucks. It's a great heat shield. It looks so nice.
And then I just, I'm a Grady fan, so I got the, all the little Grady stuff. This one this is a RB36 dipstick, but I modified it.
You drive a Skyline, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You drive a Skyline. There you go.
Because they don't make it for my car, so I had to think. And same thing with this here, the Powerhouse Racing. It's the only company that makes, because these have they're like a butterfly on the back. So they're not just a screw type. So not a lot of people make these caps.
Careful, it's hot.
Well, it's aluminum, yeah. So that's
those little things that were like, you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, because if Grady made one, I'd buy it in a second.
Psych. No, you can't.
And then if I try to fake it, if I got one and then put a Grady sticker on it, obviously they're gonna know it's fake. So I don't want to do that.
Who would do that?
Oh, there's so many figures out here. It's not even funny.
That's funny.
This right here, I just got off from Thailand somewhere. What is it? I forget the guy's name, but Tokyo Mike or something like that.
One of my favorite parts about your car, the clear. Just to see the cams there, it's just one of my favorite parts. I just always liked seeing cams just moving.
I've been wanting to do this for a while, but like they have 4 different heads, 4 or 5 different versions. So it doesn't fit perfect, but I had to, it's modification. So you just kind of make things happen.
Nah, so this is the original motor.
Original motor, transmission, never been pulled.
How many miles did you say?
218,
wow.
220.
Wow. Kudos to you, Lexus. I mean, obviously oil changes, maintenance.
Yeah,
100%.
And maintenance, and like I said, sensors. Since it's getting old, like I said, the last year I put like $1,500, maybe $2,000 in just maintenance parts because I want to replace everything with, OE parts if it lasted this long. So there's a few sensors, fuel pump, all that stuff that I kind of just general maintenance stuff that I had to do.
So would you say that now there are a little bit more expensive cars to want to get into?
Yeah, yes and yes. If you find one that's sorted well,
yes.
Well, I was gonna say yes and no.
That's an honest, yeah.
Like if someone got, like, say they got this one for me, they're pretty. It's already sorted, so they'll have minimal problems. Yeah, they're gonna have minimal problems. But most of these that you get with 200,000 miles on it, you're gonna have to change some parts, whether you want to or not.
Right.
Because all this stuff, the plastics get really, really brittle. The clips break. The hoses, the only reason I changed the hoses because they were like rocks. I would have kept the factory hoses, but they just kind of, everything gets hard and time. And like I said, some of this stuff, Lexus isn't making anymore because, they only have to do it like legally for like 10 years or something like that. So once the supply is out, like, in the Honda world that their stuff, they're not making for EGs and EFs and stuff like that anymore. You just, whatever is out there, right. So it could get expensive if it's not well sorted.
I can only imagine. Well, thank you so much for making the time, man, for just showing us, your build. You can clearly see that you've taken a lot of dedication, love towards this chassis, and that's what we love to see, man. Somebody who actually appreciates the car that they're building.
Well, thank you.
Because, like I said, we discussed this. We seem to be losing a little bit of that in the car community now. I think Instagram likes, TikTok likes, cloud is a little bit, now it's put before actually building something for you and for something that represents you. So we appreciate the fact that you have that, love towards the passion and the automotive world. So thank you for that. Any shout outs, man?
Yeah, I want to shout out Angelo. He's kind of like the co-builder, my godson, that helped me, get this to where it is. So, without him, it wouldn't have been possible. The guys, Brian and them at Honors and stuff, they just making other connections to be able to, make connections. That was really helpful. And my family for putting up with me and helping me for Christmas when I asked for stuff, and they were just like, what is that? Just send me the link. I don't, you know. So, you know, that's basically, and the car community here in California, because it's where it might not be where I want it to be, but it's still a wonderful community, and it's huge, and it's a lot of great things to offer. So I just want to thank everybody for that, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you for the coffee. Thank you for an awesome morning. Sorry. Definitely had fun. No worries, man. Southern California buzz,
getting attacked over here.
They're getting attacked. It's telling you, lower your car. The mosquito's telling you, lower your car.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for the time, man. I appreciate the support. You know, we do it for this. We like stories. I'm not into a million horsepower cars if they can be driven. I'd rather hear the story about the ownership, and obviously your story resonates with a lot of us, especially a little bit of older people who are like, yeah, man, like this is cool that, you know, now you're 49, 50 and you're still messing with the cars. We definitely can't wait to see this car for the next 30 years in your family. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere.
Like I said, yeah, unless somebody has a real big check they want to write me, it's going to hang around for a while. So
that's awesome, man. Well, thank you for the time, Carlos. I appreciate it, man.
You got it.